Well, for more on this discussion, we're joined by Koffi Kouakou, Africa Affairs Analyst and Senior Research Fellow at the Center for Africa-China Studies at the University of Johannesburg in South Africa. Hi there, Koffi. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. What do you make of President Xi Jinping's keynote speech at the opening ceremony of the 2024 FOCAC Summit?
Well, thanks for having me, and greetings to you and to your listeners, your audience. I think this was a very important speech. A couple of things. For me, first of all, the very important poetic opening of the speech was really attractive, because what it did was to sort of draw in all the audience, and with a little bit of flowering language, but it's really appropriate because what it did was to use a sort of spring season metaphor, and a couple of things, words like old weather, blossoms in spring, fruit in autumn, bumper harvest. These are very powerful points to remember. But what is important beside the flowery point is that he sketched out a much more pragmatic and practical 10-point partnership action plan, and ranging from energy to people, to trade, to peace and security around the world, multilateralism, although he didn't say it directly, but it's very, very important to have that. And the theme, I think, for me, was very important in the sense that the theme revolved around sort of collective modernization of the global South, but with the focus on Africa. To me, I thought this was very, very important, and that is really something to keep in mind.
Koffi, I wanted us to dig in deeper a little bit to what President Xi Jinping has called for building that all-weather China-Africa community with a shared future in the near era. How significant is this declaration to Africa?
Very significant. It's got three areas of significance for me and for Africa. The first one is that those three key points are important. The first one is that China is still and remains bullish on Africa. That's the one, that Africa still matters to China, but also matters to the global, if you want, the global society. And China is making that point very well by inviting Africans to Beijing to talk about that. That's a very significant point. The second one is that Africa, as Africa matters, Africa also has to now, is rising up a bit, using the strength of China to really position itself. And then the third one is not just rising with China, but Africa also must seize the opportunity into this all-weather partnership with China to do something with it. And President Xi Jinping has been really asking Africans to use that opportunity, to use that agency, to make that point in energy, in green economy, in trade, especially using the Africa Continental Free Trade, the AU Vision 2063 connected with China, but using China as a leverage as well, but in a win-win form of partnership.